Hey, this is the pizza here, and this video is going to be about my first impressions of Runes of Magic's recent expansions. So first I'm going to start out with Weeping Coast, and I know Weeping Coast came out about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and this was my very first time going in right here. I was only level 48 at the time, and as soon as I hit level 48, I checked my map and noticed 4 or 5 quests in Weeping Coast. So, eager to get to the new content, I headed straight over there. So I'll be checking the map a lot during this video since I've never been in this area before. And one of the first things I noticed was that the area was a lot different than the rest of the map. The swamp theme that is in most of the area, it's pretty cool, and you can see there's some kinda weird reflection glitch on the water. Not sure what that was. But other than that, it was a really cool kind of swamp area that they put together. And it was real refreshing after being in the same areas for so long. And all the giant shells that make up buildings in the backgrounds for the for some types of enemies, I thought that was really cool. And I just think they did a good job with designing this area. So overall, I was very impressed with this, and it was just, like I said before, it was just refreshing to get a new feel. So I'm heading over to accept my first quest in the area, and I ran right past the guy. So checking my map, running back, and one thing that I immediately noticed about the quest here was that they offer a much higher reward than any quest in Ravenfell. The quest in Ravenfell would typically at most offer about 50k XP, and quests in Weeping Coast max so far that I've seen offer about 120k XP. So that's a huge difference, and the reason for that is because the amount of experience it took to get from 49 to 50 was just over 2 million, I believe. And then to get from 50 to 51, it's over 6 million. So it still balances out with the larger quest rewards. And one other thing I noticed that I liked a lot being a tank was that they gave out a lot more plus 35 staminas. And now here, I just stopped on this bridge as I was going through. I wasn't planning this or anything, but I just really like the way this area looks, and my horse would get out of the way. You can see it's just the waterfalls. I just think look really cool in the way they made it cascade. This was just a really pretty area, and so I just stopped to admire the beauty. Just looks really nice. And I'm going to switch to the Elven Prophecy soon, because I'm covering both the expansions, the Weeping Coast and Elven Prophecy, in this video. So now this is the Elven Prophecy, and I created an elf character named Pepperoni, who is a level 5 warden at the moment. And so the way you start out as an elf is you start out in this island that, if you've looked at the map recently, you'll see an island off the east coast, and I think it's called the Island of Preparation. I'm not sure, but it's basically like the Pioneers Village in Logar for the elves. And you start out with the same type of beginning quest where you speak with all the specialists like the blacksmith and the tailor and the woodcutter and so on. And so the first couple of quests are just going around talking to people. And it also gives you a chance to get used to the starting area. And the starting area for the elves is very different than the starting area for anyone else, just because of the general layout. Because they're elves and everything is, well, almost everything is involved with nature. So one cool thing that I noticed, and didn't even notice until I'd seen it moving, was there's this elevator that when you step on it, it'll take you up to the higher levels of the trees. And you can see the elevator right here. Just kind of falls down. And there was no real reason for me to do it, but I couldn't resist. So you step on it, wait 5 seconds or so. Then it carries you up to the second level. And here you are. Up in the higher levels of the Elven Village, where I'm guessing you'll accept some quests later on. And so here I took a swim through the water because I heard they had improved water effects, but I can't really see it and I have my graphics turned all the way up. So if they did improve them, it's nothing major. And I'm eager to get to my first fighting quest so I can test out some of the Warden's skills, which I did the tutorial part to get the Roping's Blessing. So I've already fought a little bit with the Warden, but nothing much, and the Warden strikes me as kind of a priest-mage combo, but not quite the damage of a mage and not quite the healing power of a priest. So it's kind of as if you took the two classes and evened them out a bit so that they equaled to one class. Because you start out with one healing skill called Recovery and one damage skill. And the damage skill gives you something called Nature's Power, which it's some sort of buff. I'm not sure what it does yet. I'm guessing that it's used in some later skills, kind of like a Light Seal or a Holy Seal on an enemy. So when they have a certain number of Nature's Powers on them, or when you have a certain number on yourself, then you can do some sort of special skill. And this was another building I thought looked really cool, just because of the kind of blue glow. And I like how they made everything fit together with the whole nature theme. And now this is my first trip outside of the city, and going to get my first quest where I fight some things on the coast. And don't mind that, that's just a PB info error, probably because it needs to update for the new content. And it would appear that the weapons the Wardens are going to be using are a wand and a shield. And I think they can only wear cloth. I haven't tried to put on any leather armor yet. But anyway, I'm about to get to my first real fighting mission. And I have to fight these things by the coast. So I've already got some new skills, and you can see them in the lower hotbar. The one in the top left is sort of a purge type skill, and it removes any curses from a friendly target. And the two damage spells I have now, one of them is kind of like Mage's Fireball, and the other one is a damage over time. And you'll see they also put in some new spell animations, which is welcome since before all they had was basically 1 or 2 spell animations for all the spells. And I kind of wish I would have recorded sound on this, because they have new sounds for healing spells and new sounds for damage spells that add a little bit more to the game. And they also included footsteps. So if you've ever been, if you ever notice while you're walking around that you never seem to make a sound, now they finally included footsteps in the game to make it a little bit more immersive. So now I'm just fighting these Lacosos and collecting some driftwood for some dailies that I've already accepted. So that was pretty much my first 10 to 15 minutes in the Elven Prophecy and my first 10 to 15 minutes in Weeping Coast. Now, I really want to explore the new dungeons that they included in the Elven Prophecy and the Weeping Coast, mainly Heart of the Ocean and Weeping Coast. But I still have a ton of dungeons to explore in the original land of Taboria, so maybe a while before I get to all that new content. That's it for this video. Till next time.